Hey guys, Alex here. It's currently about 8:30 in the morning on Friday. I just wanted to let you guys know and sort of apologize to you. We sort of had a server error that was sort of outside of our control this last week with our podcast. And so we weren't able to get it up on time. So this week, it was a pretty light Pokemon news week in general. So we decided to go ahead and publish last week's episode this week. Thank you for understanding. Next week, we'll be back with a brand new episode. Sorry about that again. It was just a weird hosting issue that was sort of outside of our control. So please bear with us. The issue is now solved. And enjoy the DexCast. See you next time. Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to the 136th ever episode of the Dex Podcast. I'm Alex.
I'm Jimmy.
And I'm Pokekellz.
What is up, homies? Yeah!
Are you like at a frat party?
Yeah, welcome to the 136th ever Dex Podcast, the official podcast of the Dex on YouTube. We are a Pokemon podcast. We talk about Pokemon news, Pokemon goings-on. We speculate and predict accurately Pokemon video games of the future.
Pokemon.
We give tips to the developers who discreetly use all of our tips to make their game better,
There's a guy at Game Freak who speaks English only.
who religiously watches our show.
In the credits, when it says, and thank you to all the players, it actually
talking
only
about
means
us.
Alex,
Specifically
Jimmy,
us
and Kelly.
In
Nobody
in
else.
The new Switch version of Pokemon, it's going to say hashtag thanks DexCast right at the end.
Oh
of the
my
credits. If it said that, I don't know.
cried.
It's not
I don't
going
know
to
what
say
I
that.
would do, but what if it
The
did?
only thing we ever did have our credits in was the Pokemon Symphony concert.
That was tight.
That's
and that
true.
was really awesome.
That made me
That's
happy.
true.
That was like, I cried.
Yeah. That was
Just
neat.
wait, Gen 8.
Neat AF. Just wait, Gen 8.
Just you
Hashtag
wait,
just
Gen
wait,
8.
Gen 8.
I got a date with Gen 8. All right, that's awful.
Hashtag save the 8.
Save the 8
Save the 8.
for when we get married to the Nintendo Switch.
Hi, everybody.
yeah.
What's up?
So before we get into the news real quick, I want to ask you guys.
Yep.
Hey, you numbskulls! How was your Pokemon week?
So great. We finally did the stingers again.
Yeah, we nailed it.
We
We
did
nailed
it
the
real
stinger.
this time.
I haven't heard these, so I'm completely lost.
Did great.
There's a really long Guzma one also that I want to use, but I don't know how long to pause for it yet.
Oh, okay.
So I tried to pause long enough just now for it. I hope that it works out.
Great.
Okay.
Yeah.
Hashtag hope as always.
Metatoni did a Guzma alternate version. So
Cool.
Sick.
I'm going to try and squeeze it in.
We love Guzma.
What did you get?
What was the stinger?
It's-
Pokemon week?
Yeah.
Okay.
It's like,
Yeah.
how was your Pokemon week?
Great. All
Yeah.
right. I'm in. I actually semi had a Pokemon week
I
again.
would love to hear about it.
So, first of all, I think we need to address a very important thing.
Sure.
Two fans of the Dex.
Oh my gosh.
God.
I'm going to pull up their names
Two
right now.
separate fans of the Dex.
Yeah. Get on it.
Thank you to you guys. You can find these tweets somewhere on Alex's profile. Is probably the best one
I
to find them on.
lost it. I retweeted at least one of them. I lost it.
Kels is pulling up the names right now, but thank you guys.
am.
You did the Dex homework. A+, 10 out of 10.
Super
News
cut.
compilation,
Every time that I ever said news in the Dex podcast.
and a couple times when Kels said it.
Very funny.
6 straight minutes of the news.
I sat
And
there.
Gosh,
And I sat there at first with Kelly and we were listening to it. And at first we were just listening to it. And then 2 minutes in, we just
Started laughing and
lost
couldn't
it.
stop.
Yeah.
It transcends. At first you're okay, this is funny, and then you're oh my god, this is crazy, and then
gets
it gets back
insane.
to funny, and then it just ramps up. So the two listeners that submitted their Dex homework and got A+ were Ohatpod, that's OHAAT pod, Ohatpod, one holiday at a time.
Pod.
That was the first one we received, and then the second one was from these are both Twitter names. The second one is at DeathM
What?
Mikaru Iku. That's
Death M
that's it.
Traineers?
Yes,
Got
Death
it.
M Traineers.
Got it.
It's like trainers, but
with
two
E's.
E's.
Okay.
Yes, exactly. So thank you both immensely for your mashups.
Things that I didn't
Yeah.
realize
That
would
was
be funny.
unbelievable.
Things that I didn't realize would be funny are the stingers coming in at the end of everything.
yeah.
Yeah.
Really funny. Also, Pro Jared.
That's right. I'll admit I did not listen to the entire 6 minutes. I listened to 2 minutes and 11 seconds,
Sure.
and my brain was already
Whoa.
turning
Yeah.
to mush. So I was I need to give myself a break. I'm going to go back and listen to the rest, but in that first 2 minutes, there's a clear slope.
It literally gets crazier.
It just
gradually.
like incrementally becomes more wild. And then there's a couple where it's like, you get used to the news, and this like the news, and then just like
the last like 2 minutes is like 10. Like it's like 140 of them, and then like the last 2 minutes is like me like the news.
It's awful. It's
like
terrible.
it gets like too long.
It's like way too much. But it is funny.
Very good stuff.
So yeah, that was great. Thank you so much. Made my day and night.
Loved it. Part 1 of your Pokemon week.
Part 1 of my
out of the way.
Part 2 of my Pokemon week. Me and good friend of the show and good friend of me and good friend of you, Jaywitz.
Yeah. Jaywitz. Yeah.
Jaywitz, the Jaywitz.
I know that guy.
Good guy.
Check him out.
If you don't know who Jaywitz is, he's a Nintendo YouTuber, has a lot of Pokemon content, and I have worked as his editor for a little over a year now. Did a video on a board game called Pokemon Master Trainer, which is awful.
A board game we've been meaning to crack open on the decks
Yeah.
for some time.
If you don't know, Pokemon Master Trainer is essentially all of the frustration of your home rules Monopoly.
Yeah.
But in a Pokemon version that's too confusing for kids to play. Why would they ever market it towards kids?
Is it like a tabletop game? Like, does it feel like you're like kind of playing like Talisman or something?
No, it's more like a game of life kind of situation.
Okay. Like a very classic board game situation.
Yeah, and there's a lot of like vitriol-inducing mechanics. Like you can catch Pokemon, you can battle each other, but then there's stuff that's like event cards, and like some of them are just like
you lose 2 Pokemon,
or like force a trade with another character, and it has no requirements of level or power or anything. So
you just can like give them a crappy Pokemon and take up their best one.
Literally, the thing that's
evil. That's some Team Rocket stuff.
Yeah, the thing that Jaywitz had me show is he took all this like camera footage of him like showing the stuff in the board game, and you can literally trade Magikarp for Mewtwo if you want to with a force trade.
Oh my god!
Dang.
And like with a force trade, they can't say no, so you can just get your best thing taken.
That sucks, man.
Also, the whole point of the game is to get to the Elite Four at the end and like beat one of the Elite Four, and that's considered like you won. And he like did a lot of the math. And first of all, the Elite Four is a 14-space square with 2 spaces that allow you to battle them. The rest
so you
of
have
them,
to like bounce around in there till you land on a space?
You literally just roll and just go in circles until you land on a space. The rest of them are event cards.
That's like the big frustration with Trivial Pursuit.
Yeah, it's exactly like that. The rest of the space in there are event cards or item cards. So you can either like get items or just land on an event space that's like, oh no, something bad happened to you. And now you're like, great, now I can't fight the Elite Four. But when you do fight the Elite Four, due to the battle mechanics, like you use numbers on your different Pokemon and you roll for a certain thing, and you can use attack cards to like boost an attack.
Sure.
If you have, he calculated, if you have the average attack of like using 2 attack cards to get a +8 and a really good like Mewtwo, like a legendary Pokemon,
sure,
and you roll a 6, if you get Agatha, who's the middling powered one under Lance and Blue/Gary, she can only lose to that maximum roll if she rolls a 1 or a 6.
So it's just like pure BS?
Yeah. Basically, if you have the optimal situation, you still lose.
Did he play this beginning to end, like a full game of this?
Yeah, he played like a 4-hour game with his friends to like catch up on it and feel it out.
That's
and,
wild.
Yeah, and then like just did footage afterwards of like what the game is like. But literally, if you get optimal situation, you still have a 2 out of 3 chance of losing to Agatha just on a dice roll.
Boof.
Holy crap.
It's so dumb. I highly recommend you watch the video.
I would love to play this game.
There's a lot more BS in there. I would like to play this game too, but it's like a lose your friends game. It's one of those things where like
Mario Party 10.
Like you have to have certain Pokemon to get into Elite Four. You need a certain power level, so like everyone wants to steal stuff. Everyone wants to there's a card called Time Machine.
Okay.
If you use that card, you can use it at any time during anybody's turn for any purpose, and it re-rolls any dice.
You can just use it.
You could just use it. So even if you
just
beat
like
Agatha on that roll,
your like dirty opponent could just be like, no, you didn't.
Yeah.
Oh my god.
That's just brutal.
It's garbage.
Wow.
Anyway, I highly recommend watching that video. It was a lot of fun to make. I think that he said we were going to look into making a video on the 2nd and 3rd gen versions of the game.
Is it the same game?
We don't know.
Interesting.
He has the 3rd gen one. He's ordering the 2nd gen one. So he's going to see what they're like, if they're worth talking about more on. But yeah, go watch that video.
It's always been a dream of mine to film myself playing. It's just such a pain in the booty to like figure out how to do that.
Oh god,
well.
Especially you need multiple cameras and good lighting and just like.
I wonder if we could do like, make a simple version of it in
Tabletop Sim?
Yeah.
There exists versions. I heard, or a lot of the comments in the video were saying like, oh, I play this on Tabletop Sim.
Yeah. I wonder if we can like set something up with that and like maybe we can play with like Hilda or something. How many players is it?
I think it's up to 6.
Perfect. Yeah, we could like get some peeps on.
Yeah.
Do a little dance.
Do a little dance.
Make a little flub. Shout outs to the movie Flubber. All right. What about yours?
What did I do this week in relation to Pokemon?
Played a buttload of Pokemon Duel as usual.
Yeah, I've been playing a lot of Pokemon Duel. It's
I gotta say, I respect
heartbreaking
your commitment to that game.
Seriously.
It's heartbreaking and like, but like also like pretty triumphant at times. I don't know. I really like it. It's a lot of strategy, and so I think it's fun. But otherwise in the Pokemon sphere, like I didn't do too much. I mean, I opened some card packs, so videos will be coming inbound for the card things that I opened.
Sure.
Some unboxing stuff. But and otherwise, I don't know. Like I got a big trip coming up, and so I'm working a lot trying to get some of that sweet cash to pay for that trip.
Hype.
So that's pretty much it. I have the light Pokemon week this week.
Love it.
Yeah.
I'm in the same zone. I didn't do that much. I mean, we had a scheduling thing. I edited the decks this week. That was fun. Haven't edited a decks episode in some time.
Yeah, it was weird, like not having to do that on my Monday. It just
came out. Yeah. Yeah, it was weird. I forgot how like long it takes. I mean, it didn't take me that long, but like I normally just edit like a battle video or something. It's
Right.
basically like a let's play. This was crazy.
Got to chop up all the little takes. Got to green screen them. Got to do all that stuff.
Yeah. I am ready. I am registered, ready to go for something that we're going to talk about in a minute.
Oh.
So that's something that I'm excited for and like have been getting ready for this Pokemon week, but I have yet to do it. So I'm just waiting at this point. But anything else anybody wants to say before we get into it?
I have nothing to say.
Well, then let's get into
Welcome to the news, darlings.
Yeah.
Here's what I think. I think that now that you've hit that high point,
Yeah.
it should never ever go above there again.
Where I just hit.
I just think that like we have these like really cool collaboration videos that people gave us
Sure.
of all of your the newses.
Yep.
And now I think it's time to go back to like a more normal.
You want to
way of
like
saying-
slowly go backwards?
Yeah. So the next one it'll be like, oh, it'll get too crazy, and then it'll slowly start to get back calm again, and then
hard.
then you can get back to crazy again. But I think the people need maybe just a break.
A break? What the hell?
I love when you said the people. I saw the people in quotation marks because the people is
She
is
blinked
Jimmy
and her
and
eyes.
Kells.
She just blinked and her eyes opened and it just said just on one eye and me on the other eye. All right.
A very specific visual joke.
So the thing that I was talking about in my Pokemon
Sure.
Week is the 2017 International Challenge for April. It's underway as of the listening of this podcast.
Yeah.
Runs from April 28th to April 30th. So if you're watching or participating this weekend, let us know how it went. It's just a online competition. People will probably be streaming it all weekend. It's going to be fun. As a reminder, this might be important to you. For participating in this, you get 3 Mega Stones, Blazikenite, Swampertite, and Sceptilite.
Sceptile's tight.
Sceptile is tight. Don't forget how tight he is. But it's the 3 starters from HOENN. So, you know,
Bless you.
If you there it is. You're back?
Yeah, I'm back.
Welcome back.
Sneeze hit 2 times.
So get it if you want to get it. I'm excited for this because it's VGC 17 rules and you can actually earn championship points for this. So if you've been participating a little bit and you need that extra little bit of championship points to get you over the edge to like qualify for whatever you want to qualify for, this is a great way to do it. I'd love to hear how you guys are doing. I'd love to hear what you guys are vibing on with this. Could be
for
fun.
sure.
Yep.
Next bit of news, Shiny Tapu Koko event coming to players in Hong Kong and Taiwan. Almost inching ever closer across the Pacific Ocean to us. April 28th to May 30th via serial code. It's the same Shiny Tapu Koko from before. I don't know if we have any listeners from Hong Kong or Taiwan, but it's promising. Sounds like maybe they're like actually gonna
slow roll out.
Yeah, so who knows? But
hold on to that shred of hope.
Keep your ears peeled. It's gross. Never mind.
Weird.
Keep your eyes.
I mean, eyes peeled
open.
is not much better.
Keep your eye, but at least you like unpeel them when you open them. Kind of.
I guess. Yeah.
I don't know.
Peel your skin off.
But let us know. Also, shout outs if you live in Hong Kong or Taiwan and you want to listen to the Dex podcast every week because that's tight.
Yeah.
If you do, hashtag I live there.
That's the hashtag you use if you're from Hong Kong or Taiwan.
Yes.
It's just
Specifically
hashtag I live there.
I live there.
Great. From now on, if we ever mention, doesn't matter.
And yeah.
All right. Okay. Also, brand new global mission started this Tuesday. I don't know if you saw it on the Dex News, which also came out this Tuesday, along with our Nihilego episode. The goal is collecting 3 million Pokebeans in the Pokekellz. This, I think, is probably the easiest one ever. We already hit the goal on Tuesday, which was like, I think, the night that it started.
Like the night it started, I like went on to like, oh, I'll participate in this. I'll sign up for this, and it was already at 3,700,000. It's like by this point, by the time you're listening to this, we've already passed the stretch goal of double that 6 million.
Yeah.
Damn.
You have till May 9th to get on board. It's already beaten.
Hop on
There's
that
literally
train.
no effort you need to do. But if you do get 30 beans or more, which you can do in one session of this, like I don't even know why it's so low. Like you should do 90. It's crazy that you don't do this. You get a rare candy if you do that. And for doubling the goal, which by now has also already happened, like Kels just said, you get a level ball, which is a useful ball to have.
Nice.
Nice. Also, numbers are in for the Pokemon Go Extravaganza last week, in which I gained 2 levels. Pretty crazy. Collectively, players hatched 87 million eggs. The other day I was walking around, I got like an egg waterfall of just like good eggs. Like it was so many
I was
good
so
eggs.
jealous of you.
I got like
You got Sneasel.
Yeah.
Who else did you get? Did you get?
Cyndaquil. Like,
yeah.
like Pichu. It was good. It was a good one.
I got a Larvitar yesterday.
In an egg?
Yeah, in an
Damn.
egg. 10K egg.
But if all the egg, what that means is if all the eggs were 2-kilometer eggs, enough distance was covered to circle the Earth 4,342 times in the
Event
week,
period.
like just during that week. And that's only if they were all 2-kilometer eggs, which is not the case. So it's probably more than that. That's
Damn.
crazy.
Wild.
Yeah, it's insane. Also, currently, Google Play card promotion is happening in conjunction with Pokemon Go in Japan. If you buy this card, it's like, like a currency card for Google Play.
Right,
got
like a
Pikachu
gift
on
card.
There's also a AR Pokemon Go picture that you can take in front of like the poster where you buy these, and you just get like 300 yen, like added to your
Bonus.
Google Play. Pretty cool.
Great.
It's not that much money, but
like
it's
cool.
300 yen.
You know?
So if you're looking for
A couple extra
little
incubators.
bonus and you're in Japan, all 10 of you that listen to this, there you go. Yeah. Also, this is not on here, but Alolan Pokemon have come to Pokemon Shuffle. I don't know if you noticed that.
I didn't. I've
did
never
not.
played Shuffle.
Yeah.
I'm never playing Shuffle again.
Yeah,
Dang.
I've long left Shuffle behind, but they did start doing Alola Pokemon, which like if you're looking for a reason to come back to Shuffle, that's a pretty cool one.
It is cool.
Alolan Pokemon and Pokemon Shuffle. But the reason that I was reminded of that is because some great Alolan Raichu themed clothes are now available on the PokemonCenter.com
Oh, they're cute.
web store.
I like them.
And the Rotom Dex plushie is now available in the United States, which is a cute plushie. Don't miss
it's
that
so
plushie.
cute, dude.
Yeah. And there's also some new card boxes that are available. One of them has all the Gen 2 evolutions to Gen 1 Pokemon, which is like, Blissey, Crobat, Steelix, Blossom.
Scizor.
Yeah, exactly.
Toad King. What's it
Toad
called?
King?
What's it
Polytoad.
called? Polytoad. There it is.
Toad King.
Toad King. He uses the King Rock. He uses the King's Rock.
Right.
There's also one with Alolan Raichu and Midnight Form Lycanroc, which is like a weird duo. Cool.
It's like a trainer box.
And then they added Legacy figurine collectibles, which are the ones that have the Pokemon with like a little bit of like fire or like a little bit of scenery.
Yeah, they look like Pokemon
Scenery.
dual figurines, kind
Freaking
of.
scenery, baby.
Ferns and a rock.
Some of them look like pretty good, and some of them look like not very good. But they're kind of fun. I don't know why. Maybe they just don't really appeal to me all that much, like as opposed to normal figures. But they are pretty cool.
Do you think that the Pokemon shop should like cool it?
What do you mean?
Like, I feel like a lot of stuff comes out that like nobody buys, but maybe that's just me. Like, I don't know. Like,
I don't know. I have no idea how well Pokemon merchandise sells.
I would love to hear from people like,
I would love some data.
What do you buy Like, I'm sure we have a pretty good cross-section of Pokemon fans who are listening to this. Thousands and thousands of you.
Yeah.
So I feel
If
like...
For
you,
example, me, I really like the plushies and pins. I like pins a lot. Plushies and pins.
I'll buy like clothes like once in a blue moon.
This is this will be in addition to any answers for the fancier segment that you send to the dexcast@gmail.com.
Yep.
Also include just a little footnote on the end that's like,
I bought this.
Yeah.
This is the last thing I bought.
The things that I buy from the Pokemon Center are usually this, and this.
Or like, I don't buy anything from there because I hate everything they sell. Like anything that you want it to be. But that's not true of me anymore.
Insight.
I bought a sick Blossom hat at the
looks
Pokemon
great.
Center. It's a tight hat.
They're really, again, I think I praised them several times for this, but their recent Pokemon lines of clothing on Pokemon Center have been much, much better in the previous, like, remember 2 years ago now when we were like, I just want clothes that like I can wear as an adult.
Yeah.
They're kind of like, they're really
They
making
even
an effort
brought
to push
those.
there.
They even brought those sick like designer Japanese shirts to the shop for a little bit, and they were tight. They were tight. But yeah, that's really it for the news this week. What like is there anything like huge that I'm like that we didn't mention?
Not
Hilda
that
pretty
I
much
know
like
of.
covers everything nowadays.
No mention of legendaries in Pokemon Go.
Is that a thing?
Nah, it's
What?
not a thing yet.
I want it.
Probably soon.
I've been playing so much more Pokemon Go because I like remember to do it in the morning now. Like I don't usually even bring my phone with me in the morning when I walk Wallace. But like I have been the last couple times and it's been great and I've been like hitting my goals. Except this week I totally missed my 7th day spin.
What?
I was like so in it and then like I didn't leave the house for a whole day because I just like wrote the whole day.
Ugh.
And I forgot because you took Wallace to go get his
His teeth
cleaned and he just like became David Astor dentist.
Yeah, he
It's
was
really
tired.
funny. He like walked in and he like was like happy to see me, but he just like couldn't move. And so he just like sort of laid on the couch while I like lightly touched his head. Very funny stuff.
But he's good right now. He's like chilling over on the couch. He's being a good boy.
Yeah. But we got kind of a little bit limited time today and I want to just like make sure we're all here for the whole podcast. So let's just jump right into the Fancier segment.
Fanswers, da 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 da. Fanswers, da 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 da.
Yes, sir.
Can you remember what I said about like cooling it?
Yeah, dude, I love. But the Fancier segment's the one like you know.
Yeah,
you're
I
like,
mean you can get away with
you're
that
like
one.
it
'cause that
could
one's
be,
always fun.
it might be, it is. It's the Fancier segment.
That's
What?
true. That one's a fun one. That one's like your game show one.
Yeah. You know what is like? Can I just share like a quick like weird joke that I have with like a couple friends of mine?
Sure.
Sure.
I totally out of left field, totally
All right.
random, but this just reminded me of it.
Yep.
Is imagine like a game show host and Matt like explaining to you that you're gonna get like a brand new car, but that car is a PT Cruiser. So they're like, and gets you a new PT Cruiser. It's like really funny. I don't know. A P. What about the T? It's a cruiser. I don't know. It's funny. That's just a little joke.
A peek into the mind of Alex.
That's
Foster.
where I'm at.
Thank you for those jokes.
Hey, MPGG.
What?
If you guys want to send an email to us, this is our Fancier segment. This is where we talk about things that you've sent us. This is a fun part of the show. We always have like a little discussion of some kind on the show. Last week we were talking about like, what were we talking about? Pokemon on the Switch?
No. It was something else. What were we talking about last time? It was important. Well, somebody's got to responded to it, right?
Yeah, it was something kind of.
It's just been a big week. It's hard to
Yeah.
know.
Let me grab it. Let me see if I can grab it. What? How did I end up on Ted's Google Doc account? What's that about?
Come on, Ted.
Ted, I don't want to take the tour. All right. Where is it? Oh, yeah, the global distribution of event Pokemon.
Everyone wanting legendaries for
Yeah,
it.
Shiny Tapu Koko. I just brought it up again. Like, I just want to hear what people think about it because we were all pretty much like, it doesn't need to be like at the same exact time everywhere. I understand like a movie comes out at a different time here, but like you should be able to get everything. And I can't believe I didn't bring it up last week, but I always talk about like paying for old event Pokemon.
Mm-hmm.
Like I think I would still do that. Like if you miss an event and you like want that Pokemon, if you could like go in a store and buy it for like $2, I would do that.
Yeah, I'm not sure if I would do that, but I think.
I mean, I wouldn't be like,
fine.
this is unfair. You know what I mean? Because I had my chance to get it.
Like having the option is better than not having the option. I think $2 is a bit much for a singular Pokemon.
Maybe you get like the like winter 2015 pack.
Yeah, if
whatever.
it was
yeah, that
like-
would be cool.
If it was like a, you know, the past VGC season pack or something like that, then I'd be a little more on board. But singular individual purchases, unless there was like a, like, you know, like a what is it, like a Subway style, like
stamp card.
Put your own Pokemon into this
like
sandwich
you can,
of Pokemon.
You can just like make it.
Yeah,
That'd be
your
tight.
own mix and
Sandwich
match.
of Pokemon.
But yeah, anyway, if you want to participate, if you want to be a part of this, we do it every week. We read random emails. If you want to send one in, send it to thedexcast@gmail.com. That's THEDEXCAST@gmail.com. And we'll read your email possibly next week, just like we're about to read this week's emails. This one is from Sam the Eagle. That's what I'm going to call him.
Okay.
Oh, yeah.
And it's called How Could You, parentheses meta, parentheses don't worry, I get the joke. The truth is at the end. All right, so here we go. Yo, Alex, Kells, Jimmy, Pupboy, Wallace, and possible guest, Sam the Eagle here, hoping you had a great Poke Week. Joke first. I know by now you have a bazillion emails telling you how to change your 3DS theme, but here's how you do it.
Okay.
1, turn on 3DS.
Yep.
2, select top right icon on bottom screen. 3, go change the theme. 4, 20, Blaziken. Select shuffle favorites, put all your favorites in, and let the aesthetic occur.
So what I'm hearing is that, I mean, like I get
what, that you're doing it.
What you're doing is definitely, I'm sure, changing the theme,
I want to know more about your process.
like mentally.
In your brain. How could you?
How
does one bring
Theoretically,
themselves
yeah.
to do it?
hypothetically, if we were to be doing that, what
would
state
we
of
be
mind
doing?
would we be doing?
Yeah,
in?
what would we do? Well, how would we be doing what we're doing? And how would we do that?
How would anybody be doing it?
exactly.
To be honest,
That's exactly what I want to know.
hypothetically.
Yeah.
In
Anyway.
yeah.
Actual email. So you guys are asking for ads. So I inferred that every little piece of dough helps. Therefore, I was mad and sad when YouTube Red went into full swing. I usually listen to your podcast in the background while doing homework. However, I can't do that on YouTube anymore. Is that true? You can't
Really?
like tab away?
On
Without-
YouTube Red, you should be able to.
But like without YouTube Red, you can't like tab away from
No,
the
you've
YouTube
never
video?
been able to do that.
Oh, okay.
As far as I know, at least not on Android.
But I mean, what about like on a computer,
On a computer, you should be able to.
right? Did they really take that away for YouTube Red only?
Wait, hang on.
He's saying, I usually listen to your podcast in the background while doing homework. However, I can't do that on YouTube anymore.
I don't see why.
I don't know what happened.
Yeah.
Did something happen?
I don't know.
Hashtag what is it?
I don't know. Therefore, I either have to relegate you guys to my free time only or listen somewhere else, i.e. your iTunes. However, I don't get ads on your iTunes, so are you getting any money off of it? Because of this, I decided to listen to your podcast on the TOVG website. I get ads there, but I'm wondering if that goes to you or TOVG as a whole. Don't get me wrong, I love the TOVG crew, but you, my Dex boys, and I want to help you out. So where and how do you want me to listen? Later, man, Sam the Eagle, hashtag hope as always, hashtag Team Trico, hashtag Team Cartana, hashtag Team Rowlet, hashtag Team Moon, hashtag HOENN confirmed, hashtag later, man. We do not get any ads from anything except for YouTube. I don't know why you're having a problem listening to us on YouTube unless you're talking about closing the app on your phone and doing something else on your phone.
Yeah. Yeah, I don't know. I deal with the other podcast on the That One Video Gamer website, and through that system, you should be hearing ads on pretty much everything. But like Alex said, we don't run regular ads on our podcast. So yeah, I guess the only place would be YouTube. It is noteworthy to say that I think that YouTube Red is a very worthwhile program to subscribe to, and also the money that comes in from YouTube Red is
Helps us.
much higher than
Especially now.
yeah. It was a big scare when it first came out, but it's been basically realized that like if you have 90% of your subscribers listening or just watching on YouTube, and you have 10% of them watching on YouTube Red, the split of money coming in from those clicks will not be 90-10. It'll be something more like 70-30 with, 10% 10% of your audience accounting for 30% of your income, because YouTube Red income is much higher
Much
than
better,
ad revenue.
especially post like all these weird like JonTron, like PewDiePie, like
After the
advertisers pulling out.
Yeah.
Like this, like just watching it and using YouTube Red to do so is the best way. But like if you can't do that, I would.
Or if you don't want to, like, that's fine.
Yeah,
just
I would prefer
do that for
you-
yourself, not for us. Like
Yeah.
YouTube Red is a great service where you can watch stuff without ads, and you
download
can
stuff.
listen to music in the background, and support content creators. I think you also get Google Play Music.
Yeah, you do.
as a like sister subscription.
You
to
totally
it.
do.
And Google Play Music is also a good service. So
and
like,
there's gonna be some good shows on YouTube Red maybe someday.
yeah. So like
Jesse's doing one with Dan Harmon. That could be good.
if you're worried about supporting or something, like the best way you can support us is just by sharing it with people who enjoy it. Building our audience is a very good way to support us. Like don't even worry about like listening where ads are gonna go, because ad clicks are worth, fractions of a cent.
Yeah.
So like if you can't, like if you want to just listen to it on iTunes, like you're not like hurting us or anything at
Yeah,
all.
like I say, I put those there so that you could listen to them.
Right.
Like the fact that you even care enough is like all I need. It
Yeah.
doesn't matter. But if you are asking like what way generates me the most income, it's either watching it on YouTube Red or watching it on YouTube. Or you can just send money to my PayPal. at gmail.com. Find me on PayPal and send me a burrito. That's
Dude.
just as good.
He can withdraw the burrito from his PayPal.
Right.
Yeah. It literally, if you put $10 in there, I promise that I will buy a delicious breakfast burrito with it. No responsibility required. But thank you for that email. This next email comes from Jeff, or perhaps Geoff. I don't know how you prefer it to be pronounced, but I'm going to just call you
9
Jeff.
times out of 10, it's Jeff.
Yeah. But I know people called Geoff.
I didn't know that.
Yeah.
I thought it was always Jeff. The more you know.
Yeah, I know. It's called False Swipe for all starters. Please don't say my last name if you read on show. You got it, baby. Hey, Alex, Kells, Jimmy, and Wallace. I've been super lucky with Alpha Sapphire and Moon that my choice of starter was able to learn False Swipe. For me, it makes my Sceptile and Decidui that much more special to me as I'm utilizing their skills for post-game long after I've bred a more competitive descendant from them. And actually, that's true for me too. I totally use my Decidui for capturing Pokemon in Sun and Moon. Plus, it means that no matter what the situation I find myself in, I have confidence that I can catch whatever comes my way. That got me thinking that this isn't that what the idolized notion of a starter is meant to be? A tried and true friend that you can always depend on? What do you guys think about all starters being able to learn False Swipe? Thanks, Jeff. Hashtag Mega Decidui for the win.
Yeah, I think I agree with that notion, especially because I think Incineroar can't learn it, right? I know there's like
No,
some really weird Pokemon in Sun and Moon that can't learn False
Yeah,
Swipe.
I don't think so.
And I was having a lot of problems with my team because like I didn't want my Decidui to learn it. It's like
I eventually did it much later, like when my Decidui was like level 80 and I like had my team done.
after the game, yeah. But like, yeah, I think making it so that the starters can have capabilities to help you with your breeding and your like post game stuff, breeding, catching, shiny hunting, whatever. I think that's a valuable tool. Like just bringing it up, I would go as far as to say is give them all some sort of status effect move that affects catching, such as like maybe one of the weaker
Thunder
sleep
Wave
moves or
or-
Thunder Wave. But like I know that would put a lot of power in their hands in VGC because Thunder Wave is a powerful move. But
That's true.
I think just having that capability would, build that bond and increase the longevity. Like not everyone's going to use their starter after the post game, but that would be a fun incentive.
It'll be hype.
Yeah.
I'm into it. Yeah.
Also, everything should learn False Swipe, man.
It should be like Protect.
Yeah,
Just
like
why?
Like what's the purpose of not giving a Pokemon False Swipe? It's not. It
You
doesn't.
literally can't KO Pokemon with it.
It's perfect.
It's not viable competitively.
Yeah.
It doesn't make sense to use it in any sense other than catching.
Unless reversal, like hit your own dude.
You mean
that's like some
that is
scumbag,
such
like,
a
trick
niche.
stuff.
Yeah,
that's like a me strategy. One of those dumb like
I'm going to blow up the meta with this. No one will see it coming.
Yeah.
I will swoop out like Batman.
and then you get bombed by
like a dude just
by like Gale
playing-
Wings,
Yeah.
Talonflame, and
Basic
that's it.
fundamentals.
Yeah.
Yeah. A dude like, well, I'm not going to let that happen.
Aaron Zhang just kind of comes in and says no and then leaves.
But yeah, that's how I feel. Thank you for that email.
yeah.
Are you peacing out?
Yeah, apologies to the Dexcast listeners, but I am running on a tight schedule today.
He's got some plans.
I got traffic to go through, and I'm going to a concert tonight. If you've never heard of Caro Caro Bonito, go listen to them. They're amazing and super happy and fun. But
Also,
I need to leave right now.
Yeah, also Jimmy lives so far away from
I live
here.
a very far way away from this place.
So
So
it's going to take him hours to get home.
Jimmy lives.
hopefully 1 hour.
It's going to take him 4 hours to get home.
No.
If it takes me 4 hours to get home, I will miss the concert.
I will buy you
So-
a pizza if it takes 4 hours because then I jinxed it. So
Okay,
there you go.
that's fair.
Yeah.
We're
We're shaking on it.
shaking
I don't
right
think
now.
I'm going to have to buy this pizza.
I'll hashtag not the pizza or yes the pizza when I get home.
Great. And then you guys can go find it
You guys can go find that
on
tweet.
Wednesday, the 26th.
Right.
Yodo
I'm
can-
sure if you search the hashtag
Not the
not
pizza
the
or
pizza, I'm
yes the
sure
pizza.
that like nobody else is doing
I feel it. I feel it.
Yo, though, can we get some pizza?
Yeah.
Yes.
Dude, that sounds tight, but I gotta go.
Yeah.
Okay,
All
bye,
right,
Jimmy.
see you. Bye, Jimmy.
Bye. He's leaving the room. Goodbye.
Bye.
Goodbye.
All right, I'm gonna
Wallace is like following him. He's like, no.
we're gonna do a quick jump cut so that we don't continue recording Jimmy's microphone. Ready? Here we go. All right, let's keep going.
All right.
This one is from Ender Spy. It's called voice acting in Pokemon, which was another thing that we talked about last
Yes, your
week.
time.
Yeah. Okay. Hey, Alex, Kells, Jimmy, Wallace, impossible guest, Ender Spy here. I just wanted to respond to the discussion from the other week about voice acting in the Pokemon games. First of all, I think it would be really cool if the game started having voice acting. It could really help with keeping the flow of cutscenes going and expanding some of the characters' personalities. Second, I totally get you guys on finding out completely different characters are voiced by the same person. I remember my mind getting blown when I first heard that Megatron and Curious George were both voiced by the same guy. Finally, imagine this. What if Nanu was voiced by Harrison Ford? I know it would never happen, but it's still fun to imagine. A boy can dream after all. Thanks for reading, guys, and keep being cool. Sunglasses emoji.
Yes. Thank you.
Hell yeah.
Ender Spy?
Ender Spy.
Ender Spy.
Ender.
Ender Spy.
Yeah,
Gotcha.
Like
yeah.
Like an Enderman.
That makes much more sense.
Yeah.
Great.
Harrison Ford as Nanu. What do we think?
I think that would be pretty good.
We like it?
Yeah.
I'm into it. All right.
Yeah, I think that's the right amount of like gruffness, but like charmingness. I think that's a good pick.
Yeah. Cool. Dope. Thank you for that email. This next one's from Antonio. It's called Alternative View on Alternative Hacks. We talked about hacking last couple weeks. We always talk about hacking all the time.
It's a hot button issue.
Yeah. Everybody knows our opinion on it by now, I imagine. Hello, Alex, Kills, Jimmy, and Hilda/guest. Sorry to bring it back to hacking because it's kind of been put to rest, but I feel like I should mention something that hasn't been mentioned before. In light of the changes made with bottle caps and the like, kind of feel like there's only really one justifiable reason to hack, which is the reason I hacked, so I guess I'm biased, and that's to be able to complete my NationalDex. To explain, I'd never been able to complete the NationalDex in my previous Pokemon experiences, and so I decided to try for it with my favorite release of my favorite game, Pokemon Alpha Sapphire. I initially went to get every Pokemon legit as Game Freak tried very hard to give us every Pokemon across X, Y, and Oros, and so I did, and I got about 95% of the way there, only missing some of the Pokemon you can't get during a single run or event Pokemon. This was a downer until Pokemon 20 happened, and they started handing out event Pokemon like candy, that is, unless you live in undeserving countries like Australia.
No.
It was a strange dissonance to see the current, apparently worldwide event being advertised all over social media, only to log in and have your game tell you, I don't know what you're talking about, bro. Not content with Game Freak telling me I wasn't allowed to have what everyone else had, I turned to the slums of the GTS, and you can imagine how that went. If your guess was page after page of people spouting gems like Keldeo for Mew, Articuno for Mew, then you'd be about right. Also, Mew didn't
More
make
like
it here either.
grubbing from you.
Yeah. He says also Mew didn't make it here either.
Aw, that's a bummer.
After that, I finally broke and hacked in the Pokemon I needed with an older 3DS and filling in that last 5%. I didn't even feel bad. Also, this was the only way I was able to get my hands on the different forms of Deerling and Sawsbuck. I went for a living dex after National because that's what happens when you strip features from future games without replacing them with something equally supported. Seriously, Game Freak, it would have been as easy as linking it to the day-night cycle. Anyway, that's just my perspective on things. Thanks for listening. Keep doing what you're doing. I look forward to watching and emailing you again. Antonio, hashtag sorry for the long email. No, it's not long. Hashtag looks like an essay. No, it's just a big font. Hashtag sorry for my life story. Not a life story. Hashtag no national dex and Sun and Moon is a crime. I agree. Hashtag my living dex went to waste. Hashtag why is Nanu literally Mads Mikkelsen? I'm into that. Hashtag later, man.
You know what? I can't say I blame you for for like a global event, because to my knowledge, it was a global event. Everything said global event. So like an entire continent and country left out of that is that's a bummer. I'm sure that must have been really like annoying for you. So like, you know, I get it. As long as you're not like giving away those hacked Pokemon that you got as like trying to trick your way into getting like other things, like I'm totally fine with you doing that. Don't even trip. But yeah, that does suck, because I was under the impression those events were global.
If there is a non-hacking way to do that, I would say, as far as things that I can vouch for, turn to the Union Room in the Dex Discord. Maybe somebody can help you out there if you're looking for a way to do it without hacking. But I totally get this. Whatever. It's a personal hack. It's not like you're taking this thing to a tournament, so it doesn't really bother me either way. If you like lied about it, that would be one thing, but I don't think that's your intention here. So whatever. So thank you. This next one is from Gigantismalls, and it's called Sun and Moon Voice Actor. Alola Team Dex, Gigantismalls here, longtime listener, first time emailer. I got really hype over your discussion in last week's podcast about potential voice actors for a Sun and Moon revisit on the Switch. I'm an actor myself, and voice acting has always piqued my interest. That being said, I'd be into Cricket Lee as Plumeria. Lee is best known for her portrayal of Mai from Avatar: The Last Airbender, Zuko's very dry knife-wielding love interest. And I think Lee's dry reads and exasperated tone could work very well for Plumeria. Thoughts?
Oh yeah, that'd be great.
Keep catching them all. Gigantismalls.
That's a great. That's a great cast.
Yeah, I've never watched that show, so I don't have a great reference for it. But Kels
and you know what? Maybe what's her name? Gray something. The woman that did Azula. She probably would be a pretty good Acerola if she like took that quality of her voice and instead of sounding evil, sounded like a little bit happy, mischievous.
I could see it.
The voice acting in Avatar is very, very good.
I could totally see it. Yeah.
Jack DeSena is How.
There you go.
He's Sokka.
Sokka?
Yeah.
Is that the like
as
buddy?
How. He's the brother to Katara.
He's the one that's
He's
played
like
by
the wisecracking brother.
the vampire from Twilight in the movie.
What? Is he? I didn't
so.
watch Twilight.
Jasper? Doesn't matter. Doesn't matter. All right. Thank you for that email.
Thank you.
This next one's from Sailor Grant. Book Club Hype. Alola once again, Dexcast from Honolulu, Hawaii. What's up, Alex, Kelly, definitely Jimmy, and maybe Hilda?
Oh no, you just missed him.
Yeah, I'm writing in to give you a huge thank you for starting the amazing new series on your channel. Flashback a few months ago, I sent in my first ever email shamelessly begging Kelly to give the Pokemon Adventure manga another chance.
Yeah.
To my absolute amazement, Alex not only read the email, but being the champion among men that he is, ordered the books live on air. Fast forward back to present day, you wonderful people have made an entire series out of it, and I've been grinning from ear to ear ever since. After listening to the pilot episode, I'm thrilled to bits with how into it Kelly seems to be, and it's great to hear the perspective of a first-time reader like Hilda. The one thing I'd like to bring to your attention, which you may already know, is the translation issue with everybody's favorite spiky-haired rival. In the version you are reading, they give him the name Blue, and I assure you this is incorrect, and most likely due to the way the first-gen games were red and blue in English, but in Japan, were originally red and green. It's super confusing and frustrating for fans, but the name of the boy rival is actually green, and the name of a girl who appears later is Blue.
You know what? I was thinking that because in my mind, like when I think Blue, I do think of that girl. But then it's hard. Now that you mention that, yes.
Yeah.
I
and that will become clear as they get farther into the podcast. No need to change what you're doing. Just wanted to make sure you knew. Keep up the amazing work, and thank you again for making my entire year all the best. Sailor Grant. Hashtag thanks Dexcast. Hashtag email length apology, not a long email. Hashtag B. Hashtag yellow is great. Hashtag don't spoil Hilda. Hashtag seriously don't. I will find you. Hashtag how could you. Hashtag how would you. Hashtag later man.
Thank you. Thank you first of all for like even suggesting that.
Yep.
Because like literally like Pokemon Adventures is great. It's really funny. It's really good, and it has some like really interesting Pokemon stuff that you don't see anywhere else. Yeah. So it's definitely worth a shot.
What's the
word on the episode 2?
Yeah.
Last time I talked to Hilda, she said that she was going for a train ride and was going to read volume 2. I have reread volume 2, and so we're just going to figure out a day to get together and talk about it.
Sweet. I can't wait.
Yeah.
I've been enjoying the podcast.
Yay.
I kind of want to start reading the manga along with you guys.
Yeah, you're welcome to. It's in my room.
I know. I sleep in the same room.
Yep, it's true.
Yep.
Different beds, but
yeah,
just kidding.
It's like Lucy and Ricky. That's a joke for the grandmas and grandpas out there.
Yes.
Thank you. This next email is called Alex Fam, and it's from Cody. Hey, Dexcast.
Hey.
Not really Pokemon related, so if you don't read this, it's cool. Alex, last week you mentioned how you started up Dark Souls 2 again, and I just thought it was funny because I too recently started a Dark Souls 2 playthrough again. Going from a lot of Dark Souls 3 mechanics, then back to 2 really caught me off guard. At first, hashtag let me take a million years to drink Estus. I am with you 100% on that. Anyway, that's all. Hopefully next time this will do with Pokemon. So have a great day, everyone, and keep up the coolness. Sunglasses smiley emoji.
Hey, we got a couple of those today.
The other one was just the sunglasses. So
Oh, I see.
we're still there. Dark Souls is a great video game series. Kels, you should play it. You would like it.
No. Thank you.
Great.
Do you want to know why?
Because you don't like to die in
No,
video
because
games?
here's the deal. Because I tried to play Bloodborne, which is essentially the same
Similar,
game
sure.
in many
Yeah,
ways.
yeah.
In many ways.
Similar.
Different controls, but many ways.
Similar.
I played the very beginning of Bloodborne. I was like, okay, cool. I ran into this guy with an axe, this big old hunched guy with an axe. He was down an alley, and I was like, okay, great. So I spent like hours trying to learn how to beat this guy because I was like, you know what? If I get down this alley, I'm sure I'll get something like pretty okay for it.
Sure.
And then I lost many times. I finally beat that jerk, and there was literally nothing in that hallway. And I was like, I understand this game now. I understand the point of this game. This is not for me. I never want to play this. Because to me, it's not gratifying.
So
I like collectathons. I like constant rewards for the work that you do.
Sometimes the reward is simply the victory. But as in life and in Dark Souls and Bloodborne, everything is a lesson. And if you take a step back from your initial frustration, you will realize that what that actually was a lesson not to fight things that you can't beat fairly easily because sometimes it's not worth it.
Okay, but
That's fine. You don't have to play it. I'm just saying. It was just
too disheartening.
That's fine. You don't have to play it. I'm just saying. Okay. This one is from Mike, and it's called A Switch in Time. Hey, Dex dudes. Mike here. I have 2 points I'd like to make today, if you don't mind. First is in regard to what the next games are going to be. I'm not a big fan of the Stars title, and to be honest, I don't think it will be just a single version anyway. The main reason I think this is, well, Rockruff and Cosmoem? Apart from that, it seems that Game Freak has been steering away from solo releases and have only released paired versions since Heart Gold and Soul Silver. And let's face it, a big part of the series' charm comes from this paradigm, and I, for one, enjoy playing through both versions just to see the differences, whether they be many or few. The other thing I want to mention is how I feel about the games on the Switch. While I admit I was upset at the possibility at first, I had been planning to get a Switch anyway with next year's tax return possibly used, and I don't see the games being released before then. But if they're just Sun and Moon again with no changes in content or gameplay, I won't really bother. Anyway, it recently occurred to me that the Switch could limit the prospect of self-trading. None of my friends play the game either by lack of a system or lack of interest, and I've always managed to get a second handheld to remedy that. It's mostly because I was reluctant to trade away one-time only species like legendary mascots to keep the trade fair. While Sun and Moon provides spares to get around this, there's still the problem with transferring items and evolving via trade, like the shiny Carablast I caught last gen. I had to self-trade to keep it. Now, I don't see myself or anyone getting a second Switch for this purpose, and I'm sure it will communicate with a 3DS just fine. But what about those who never owned a 3DS and can only get the Switch versions and don't have friends to cooperate with? Putting something on the GTS runs the risk of someone else snatching it away. Plus, Pokemon don't evolve through Pokemon Bank and they can't hold items either. Although Game Freak encourages interaction with players, I have an alternate idea. They could develop an app that acts as a personal GTS, where you can deposit Pokemon from one version to trade to another, and only you can access them. It could also be a pay-to-use service, so it doesn't take away from trading with other people. I know this doesn't seem like an issue to everyone, and I may be sowing the seeds of distrust, but I think it's only fair to provide multiple options for how different people like to collect Pokemon. Do you think I'm crazy, or am I onto something? Hashtag sorry for the very long email. Wasn't that long of an email. Hashtag still Team Poplio. Hashtag can't think of any more hashtags. Hashtag I lied once more. Smiley face.
Here's the deal. I don't think you're crazy by any means, first off. The second deal is that, like, I get where you're coming from. Like, yeah, I wouldn't want to buy 2 Switches in order to, like, be able to trade my Pokemon either. It does kind of, like, go against the mission statement of Pokemon, which you did mention. But, like, you know, just as I can't fault you for it, because I literally last episode was like, I just want all of the Pokemon distributions just because I want them. So, like, you know, I guess we can all have that pipe dream.
My thing is, if you're willing to buy a second 3DS, then why aren't you willing to buy a second Switch?
I guess they are pretty comparable in price, but, like, why would you ever need 2 Switches for any reason?
Why would you ever need 2 3DSs?
I mean,
You know what I'm saying? Like,
yeah.
I mean, here's the thing. would I have done this the moment that I got a 3DS? No, because at the time they were really expensive. They were $250, right? Then they dropped to like $180 like really quick because nobody was buying them. But this time, I think like, the Switch is like the best-selling Nintendo console in a while. The price is going to go down. There's going to be like cool things. But also, I feel like a lot more people are going to have Switches. And I think that there might be some benefit to going into somewhere like the Dex Discord Union Room or Cerebee's forums or Bulbapedia's forums or somewhere like that and just finding somebody who's willing to do that with you. I know it's hard to like trust a stranger, but like I feel like that's kind of like the leap that Pokemon is asking you to make in order to trade. You know what I mean?
Yeah, I feel you.
And I don't know, like I don't think that it's like bad of them not to give you this option of like self-trading. And I think it's weird. I don't think they will give it to us, but I don't think you're like necessarily wrong for asking for it. I just think like if there is a way to do it and it's like some shady way, like you might as well do that. Or you might as well just like hack the game at that point, because it's like if your whole thing is that you don't want to like interact with people on the internet, I feel like that's kind of against the spirit of it. So like I have no problem with you doing it, but like I don't think Nintendo's going to help you. I don't think Game Freak's going to help you. Does that make sense?
Makes sense to me.
Yeah. But yeah, like, dude, you shouldn't feel bad about it.
Yeah.
All right. Let's do a couple more. Maybe like 2 more.
Cool.
Okay. This one is called How to Let a Publisher/Developer Know. Hey, Dex Gang, Jonathan here. This question isn't Pokemon related, but does apply to all video game publishers/developers. I've been enjoying my time with Persona 5, and while the game is great, it does fall short in small areas like the bad, gay characters in it and a few sexual jokes that are hit and miss. I'm not alone in these complaints and would want Atlas to better themselves with their next games, but many of us aren't sure our words are being heard. There is the notion of vote with your wallet, but we have already paid for what is a great game and want whatever next game they have to improve on the problems. So what is the best way for our words to get to the publisher/developer? I did get some good advice from Waypoint Vice's Austin Walker, but I'm curious on what you have to say. I also want to thank you guys for bringing light to Mimikyu for not being Polygon, since it devalues Mimikyu from being a really cool Pokemon. Anyway, thanks for reading my email. #Mimikyu love, #Persona 5, #enjoy green tea ice cream. Love that. Love green tea ice cream. In terms of contacting a developer to let them know, here's how I feel about that. There are plenty of ways to do this that don't involve participation with the publisher. Making a viral video, sharing it in the community of the game that you want to talk about that outlines your complaints. I
do take issue with the phrase making a viral video though, because that's like not something you can control.
What I mean is just making a video that's like you're trying to share with people in the community to like make a movement. You know what I mean? Doesn't need to actually go viral for that to be the case. But if 1,000 people on the Reddit see it, that's good. You know what I mean? And I think like that's like if you're trying to like campaign for something, I think that's the way to do it. Is to just go online, go to the community of the game and try and just like make a big enough noise, right? But at the same time, this company has no responsibility to you. You know what I mean? Like they do in a way because like they have to sell a game to people. You know what I mean? And that's like how they make money. But at the same time, like they can make whatever they want. So it's kind of up to them whether or not they listen to you. It's a very like hard thing for people to swallow, I think sometimes, that like, it's like the same thing as like going to a DJ and like throwing the dice on whether or not they accept requests. Does that make sense?
Yeah.
Like you can go up to certain DJs and like depending on the vibe of the party or like what the DJ's all about, like if you make a request to them, they'll be like, sure, dude. Or, maybe they take themselves seriously as like a disc jockey and maybe they made a playlist for the night and maybe they want to like play that playlist for their vision. And yeah, like, I mean, social issues as problems with video games are, I mean, it's problematic, right? Like if you have a social problem with the game, like, like it's kind of like your opinion versus theirs, and it's up to them whether or not they need to respond to you. You know what I mean? Like there's always fallout, but we always get into this cycle of like publicly shaming companies for things.
Which, which bothers me a lot, because I think that as soon as you like start to try to have a dialogue with a game company, there's so many people that just like hop onto that with negativity, and that really ruins the whole thing, the whole deal.
Sure, but
because I don't know, if I'm a publisher, I mean, for example, take the Pokemon Go Twitter. Like, they tweet things every once in a while, and, like, sometimes I'll look at those tweets, sometimes I'll retweet those tweets, and I shouldn't do this, but every time I look in the mentions of the Pokemon Go Twitter, it's just, like, hundreds of people just being absolutely terrible to the Pokemon Go Twitter. for like not having the things that they want.
Petty
Really
reasons.
petty stuff. And that stuff drives me crazy because it actually impedes progress for the game.
Yeah.
Because those things turn into because valid criticisms of the game then turn into trolls.
Yeah.
And that so I think that when you do approach a medium, if you do approach in a group session like trying to contact a developer, you just have to be really careful because you're not in control of the whole group, and literally they can ruin it by spreading badness.
Poor representations of like marginalized groups is, a valid reason to like speak out against somebody. You know what I mean?
Sure.
But we have to remember that it's not like a company breaking a law in real life. It's a piece of merchandise that you can buy or not.
Mm-hmm.
And I always hate saying vote with your wallet because I think that's just like a bad way of phrasing it because it's not exactly what you're doing. You're not like sending a message to them.
Mm-hmm.
But I also think that publicly shaming people for things that aren't necessarily like
their responsibility.
Yeah, I think it's a little bit presumptuous sometimes. So my advice is to just be respectful. And if you want to try and do like a community thing, really go the extra mile. It's kind of like your responsibility to like decide what your movement's going to be like. Does that make sense?
Mm-hmm.
Like if you're going to like, that's a lot of the reason why like in politics, a lot of times people criticize protesters is because it's kind of disorganized sometimes. And like I remember when Occupy Wall Street happened and like it was a big movement and it made a big noise, but because there wasn't a lot of like clear leadership, a lot of the message a lot of the time was lost, not only on the people being protested against, but even just like the people that were there were just like, I just want to make a statement, and they like don't know what they're doing there. So just make sure like it's your responsibility if you're going to like make a community movement to like represent that movement the way that you want it to be represented and be respectful to everybody involved. Because like you say, like this is a company that you love the game in general, you want to support the company, but you also want to let them know. So make sure that vibe stays at part of the message.
Because it's very important.
Yeah, because that's how you're going to get them to listen to you rather than, just throwing...
Rather than every time Pokemon Go tweets, you say, but where is the legendaries?
Yeah, like throwing like Twitter eggs at somebody is just not a good way to go. So hopefully that helps. And I again, not a roast on you, just as like a PSA for everybody about like how you're being perceived by the company that you're trying to like have a good dialogue with. Does that make sense?
Yeah.
Cool. One more email. This one is from Ace Trainer Gabe. It's called What Could Pokemon Switch Be? Alola, Alex, Kill, sometimes Jimmy, and possible guest. Sometimes Jimmy is very accurate for this podcast. Ace Trainer Gabe here wanted to share my thoughts on what a Pokemon game on the Switch could be. Many people want it to be a new game in the main series, but I will have to disagree. I believe Nintendo will not want the game to be on the Switch, mainly to keep the 3DS alive. I mean, can you imagine the 3DS not having a main Pokemon game on it? I mean, I wouldn't. But Gabe, you may ask, if not that, then what could Pokemon on the Switch be? Well, my darling TheNationalDex crew, the solution is quite simple. Pokemon on the Switch will be a spin-off game. My hopes are for a sequel to the game no one has played, Pokemon Conquest. It's my favorite Pokemon spin-off and would love to see another entry in the series, though if I'm going to be realistic, it's probably going to be a battle simulator akin to Stadium or Battle Revolution. Anyway, my question for you guys is, what spin-off game do you want to see come to the Switch, either as a sequel, port, or just a new game? Also, this is not related to the subject. When you guys mentioned voice acting in Pokemon, my ideal voice actors off the top of my head would be Tara Strong as Lily, Tom Kenny as Faba, that's perfect, Monica Rial as Acerola, I'm not sure who that is, and Kellz as Rotom. Hashtag Pokemon rules, hashtag please make Pokemon Conquest 2, hashtag Pokemon on Switch hype, hashtag voice acting in Pokemon, hashtag running out of hashtags, hashtag laterman.
I'm very honored that you consider my Rotom impression worthy of being alongside the great actors that you mentioned.
Yeah. To answer the first part of this question, can I imagine the 3DS not having a main Pokemon game on it? If I couldn't, then Sun and Moon would still be on the Game Boy. Does that make sense? Like, I think the only reason that they're going to move the franchise to the Switch is because the 3DS is kind of...
They are kind of burying it. Not burying it, I guess, but they are kind of like... They're kind of like, it's sunset on the 3DS.
We're slowing down on the 3DS.
It's been a long run for the 3DS, and it's been a great console.
Not super long, actually. Like, it was a little longer for the DS. I think the DS came out in 2005, and then the 3DS came out. Oh, you know what? That's actually not true. That's actually not true. Let me get to the bottom of this, because this is important stuff.
I just feel like the 3DS has been out for so long.
It has. It came out in 2010.
Yeah, that's
2011. 2011.
That's 6-7 years.
2011, that's about 6 years.
Yeah.
The Nintendo DS came out in 2004.
What does SP stand for?
What do you mean?
Remember the Game Boy Advance SP?
Yeah.
Because I know DS is dual screen. GBA, Game Boy Advance.
SP.
SP. What's the Game Boy Advance SP?
Special.
Special.
Yep.
Oh, because it was flip up.
Yep.
Flip up.
Flip up.
And it had the screen background backlight.
Yeah.
Yeah, that was a great feature.
So that means if the DS came out in 2004 and 2005 in North America, that puts it at about 5-6 years. And then 3DS goes from 2011 to now. It's about 6 years.
Yeah.
So we're in the zone. We're in the zone of the 3DS just kind of tidying up.
And so I wonder if like Nintendo is just kind of like consolidating all that and focusing on just the Switch. Or, I mean, honestly, it doesn't seem like there's any plans in the works for a new portable system because they are really focused on making the Switch a portable system.
The Switch is a portable system.
Yeah.
That's the thing. Like, here's the thing. People don't realize it yet because the 3DS is still around. People don't fully understand the true trump card of the Switch. You know what I mean? Like, what was that?
Nothing.
Why did you make like a quiet smushing sound?
Just cuz.
All right. Okay.
You said trump card and it has a totally different meaning in my mind right now.
I see. Well, what I mean is, I don't think people realize that like when you buy a Switch, you're buying a TV console and a portable console because all those games are still coming out on the 3DS. Like there's still a Fire Emblem coming out on the 3DS in like a month. But then the next one is already confirmed coming to the Switch. Like the very next Fire Emblem like full game is coming to the Switch because it's like the next console. Like I feel like Nintendo's going all in on this, and I think we're going to be seeing like, you know, a $60 Breath of the Wild, you know, or a $40 Fire Emblem that maybe is simpler, or like, you know, a $10 Super Nintendo game. Like I think that's where we're at with it. And I think like people don't realize things like Dragon Quest XI has like multiple graphic modes, because like people are kind of complaining about Breath of the Wild because when you play it, like say on an airplane, if you take a fully charged Switch and take it onto an airplane and start playing Breath of the Wild on there, you're going to get maybe 2.5 hours out of it before it starts dying. Wasn't a problem for me going to Boston, which was a 5-hour flight, because I had my USB-C charger that was like going to an outlet under my seat, and I had my battery, my portable battery. But I see that problem already, like in terms of performance. So
You think like Switch Part 2, or like double, like Switch Plus is going to have a better battery?
probably, but like also Dragon Quest XI has a low poly mode and a Game Boy looking mode too. So I think like when you're portable, you can be like, I want to play in like the lighter mode to like make it have a more comparable battery life to a DS because it's a lower performance game. Like I'm interested to see, I don't have the game, but I want to play I Am Setsuna, which came out, I believe, on PS4 and stuff last year, but it came out as a launch title on the Switch. And it's like a, 20-hour Square Enix, like old style. It looks kind of like Chrono Trigger in terms of how the game works. So it's, it's 3D, but it's like, not a AAA big budget title. It's like a smaller.
Yeah, I never even heard of it.
Yeah, it's cool. It looks cool, but it's like, I wonder how much battery life it gives me, because it is a full game, but it's like, it's not Breath of the Wild. So I'm interested to see.
But it is nice that the charge is like a USB charge now, so that like you do have more, like just by
At
nature of the
work,
fact that USB is much more popular than the like single, like than the 3DS charger that is only usable in the 3DS.
And it's USB-C, so you can plug it in upside down with no ill effect, which is tight.
Yeah. Great.
But to answer your other question, Pokemon Conquest is a tight game. I will say that. I do love that game. But in terms of spin-offs for the Switch, like, what else could I want besides Pokemon Snap? If there's like the only, like, we were like, yo, the 3DS, perfect for Pokemon Snap. Switch is like one of the only systems that I could imagine where it's even better.
Yeah.
And you can still play it like on the TV. The controllers all have gyroscopes in them. Because like, how I play those like puzzles in the shrines where
Yeah.
you like do motion.
Sure.
And I can do it when I'm on the TV with the Pro Controller. Like, you could do AR. Like,
Pokemon Company, contact me. I will give you all the ideas.
she's got a design doc. It's
I
not a
got
joke.
so many.
It's not a joke.
I'll even update it because it was, X and Y, so it was focusing a lot on Mega Evolutions. I will update it and make that a Lola.
Yeah,
I will.
We'll add it.
Just I'll send you the design docs.
Yeah,
Just put my name in the credits
yeah. Okay.
and let me work on it, please. Let me be there.
Let me work for you, Game Free, please.
Please give me a job.
All right. But thank you, Gabe. That was a great email to end on. If you guys have anything that you want to write to us about, please do that. Send it into thedexcast@gmail.com. If you're watching this on YouTube, it's literally right there on the screen. THEDEXCAST@gmail.com. Thedexcast@gmail.com.
Why did you say CAST twice?
Because I was like CAST first time. THEDEXCAST@gmail.com. That's how you do it. Guys, it's been real. This is the end of yet another week. Like I said, if you guys are listeners and you want to advertise something on here, be it artist commissions, be it merch, be it your own YouTube channel, be it whatever you want to advertise, let us know. We'll work something out. We're going to start doing a classified ad section based on like what you guys are interested in. You can ask somebody to prom on here. You can, I'll say whatever you want to say as long as it's not hate speech. So I'll figure it out. But if you guys have any pitches for that, please send them to the email address that you can find on my Twitter. Don't send it to thedexcast@gmail.com because all I use that for is reading fan mail. It's not a good place to do business with me. Does that make sense?
Makes sense to me.
Yeah. All right. So guys, thank you so much for listening. I've been Alex.
I'm Pokekellz.
And we will see you next time.
Bye.
Later, man.